Page 27. Okay, somebody requested number 10, so let's look at it first. The directions for question 10 say, given the explicit formula for an arithmetic sequence, find the first 5 terms and the term named. Okay, so they not only want us to find a sub 23, they also want us to find the first 5 terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because that would be the first 5 terms. To find the first term, all you do is plug in 1 into the end place. So on your calculator, you would type in 11 over 8 plus 1/2 times 1. Okay, so let's type that in. It's a fraction, so you got to do alpha y equals to set up a fraction. 11 over 8 plus 1/2, which is another fraction. And then beside that 1/2 is an n, and in the end place, I'm going to plug in 1 because I'm trying to find the first term. And the first term is 15 over 8. Okay, so how do you think I could find the second term? Plug in 2. Now, on my calculator, I've already typed in the sequence. So instead of retyping all of that in, can I just highlight it and hit enter and then just copy over the 1 with a 2 for second term? You go up to it till it highlights it, and then you just press enter. And so I could go ahead and cover that 2 with a 3 to find the third term. Okay, so the second term is 19 over 8. The third term is 23 over 8. And then after you've done a few, you'll start to see a pattern. What pattern do you notice? Well, not completely up by 4, because the numerators are going up by 4, but the denominators are staying 8, correct? So it's actually, it's not. It's actually going up by 1/2. See that how the 1/2 is in the, see how it's going, see how 1/2 is beside the n? That means 1/2 is your d value. So yeah, you'll notice a pattern that the numerators are all increasing by 4, so that would be 27, but the denominators are staying the same. That does not mean that each thing is increasing by 4 whole units. Okay, the increase is actually 1/2, and I can prove that to you. 15 over 8 plus 1/2. 15 over 8 alpha y equals plus 1/2. Isn't that 19 over 8? And wasn't that the next term? See, each term they're adding 1/2. So what would the fifth term be? 31 over 8. Because 27 over 8 plus 1/2 is 31 over 8. Your common difference, what it's going up or down by, will always be beside the n in the explicit formula. So like, what's the common difference in question number 7? 7. Isn't that the number sitting beside the n? So what's going on in question number 8? How are you getting from one number to the next? Going down by 100. What's going on in question number 9? To get from one number to the next, you are going down by 2.1. So do you see how once you find the first term, to find the second, third, fourth, and fifth, you could just continue subtracting 2.1 from each one? Or you could do what we just did. Plug in 1, plug in 2, plug in 3, plug in 4, plug in 5. However you think is easiest. Okay, now we have to find a sub 23. So I'm going to highlight where I typed in the explicit formula, which was this one. I'm going to hit enter so it'll copy and paste it. And then in the end place, I'm going to plug in 23 for 23rd term. And it is 103 over 8. So a sub 23 equals 103 over 8. Okay, other questions off of page 27. Okay, Jalen? 14? Okay, the directions for number 14 say, given the first term, which is your a sub 1, and the common difference, which is d equals 4, of an arithmetic sequence, find the first 5 terms. So again, we got to find the first 5 terms. And we have to write the explicit formula. Okay? So first, let's find the first 5 terms. What is the first term? 35. Doesn't it say a sub 1, which means first term equals 35? So what would the second term be? 39. That D tells you that they're going up by 4. So 35 plus 4 is 39. So what's 39 plus 4? And plus 4 more? And plus 4 more? 51. So that's the first 5 terms, but they not only wanted you to find those, they also wanted you to write the explicit formula. Remember, the explicit formula for any arithmetic sequence is a sub n equals d times n minus 1 plus a sub 1. Now, the only two things you have to fill in for are what? The d and the a sub 1. Well, didn't they give you those two things? So you just fill them in. A sub n equals d, which is 4, times n minus 1 plus a sub 1, which is 35. Now from there, we start simplifying. The first way we can simplify is by distributing the 4, and that'll become a sub n equals 4n minus 4, because 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, and then plus 35. And then we can simplify one more time by doing what? Continue. What's the last thing I can do to simplify? Combine like terms. So 4n is on its own. It's the only term with an n. Shh, be quiet. Negative 4 plus 35 is 31. So there's the explicit formula. And remember, you can always test your explicit formula. I found the first 5 terms. So let's find the 6th term. Okay, we all kind of know by common sense the 6th term is going to be what? 55. But let's test that in our formula. What's 4 times 6? And what's 24 plus 31? 55. So see how it worked when we plugged in 6 for 6th term? It really gave us 55? Yes. That's just part of the explicit formula. Okay, let's look at, didn't we do all of these Thursday? Okay, well let's do one of those that I didn't do with you. Okay, number 5. Number 5. What is the common difference? How are they getting from one term to the next? Subtracting 2. Because even though, yes, 9 is bigger than 7, negative 9 is really smaller than negative 7, right? They're going down 2. They're getting further into the negatives. What is your a sub 1? Negative 7. Your first term is negative 7. So now that you know your d and your a sub 1, you have enough information to write your explicit formula. A sub n equals d times n minus 1 plus negative 7, which, yes, is just a minus 7. Then from there you start simplifying, first by distributing the negative 2 to everything in the parentheses, right? Negative 2 times n is negative 2n, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2, bring down to minus 7. And now we can simplify once more by combining these like terms and get negative 2n minus 5, because 2 minus 7 is a negative 5. And so there's the explicit formula for number 5. And that would allow you to find any term you wanted to find. Like if they had said, find the 50th term of this sequence, instead of continuing to subtract 2, subtract 2, subtract 2 until the 50th term, you could just get the formula, plug in 50, and you would know it. It would be negative 105, right? No. But you also got to consider that minus 5. Right, on Friday, you were supposed to do the common difference column, which is where you just had to figure out what they were going up or down by. You were supposed to do the next 3 terms, which should have been easy enough. and you were supposed to write the explicit formula, which is A sub n equals D times n minus 1 plus A sub 1. Okay, so for number 1, what did you get for your common difference? 7, because to get from one number to the next, they're going up by 7. So that would make the next term 37, and then the next term, and then the next term, right. So now we need to write the explicit formula. Now, you've seen me do the explicit formula several times. And how many lines does it take me? 3. So, for that reason, I'm going to do the first 2 lines of it on scratch paper, and then the last line I'll put in there. A sub n equals D, which is 7, times n minus 1, plus A sub 1, which is 9. Then for my second line, I start simplifying by distributing that 7 to everything in the parentheses. That makes 7n minus 7, and I bring down the plus 9. And then for my final step, I combine like terms. A sub n equals 7n. Negative 7 plus 9 is a positive 2. Are there any questions on any of the other problems you had to do on this page? 12? Okay, let's look at number 12. Alright, the hardest part probably for number 12 was figuring out what the common difference is. Once you know the common difference, the rest should be as easy as it was for number 1. We're learning that today. Okay, so say that you're having trouble figuring out how they got from 1/3 to 1. Just think about it backwards. Do 1 minus 1/3. Okay, what's 1 minus 1/3? 2/3. So that means to get from 1/3 to 1, don't you have to go up by 2/3? Well, let's see if that pattern continues. Let's type in 1 plus 2/3 and see if it takes us to 5/3. Shh, be quiet. And 1 plus 2/3, 5/3? And isn't 5/3 plus 2/3 going to give you 7/3? So you can see that they're each going up by 2/3. So now, to get the next one, don't we just have to do 7/3 plus 2/3, which is 9/3? Or couldn't you have just simplified that to a 3? Because 9 divided by 3 is 3. Kind of like over here, look. Isn't 1/3 plus 2/3 3/3? Wasn't 3 over 3 1? So they simplified it to a whole number. Okay, what's 9/3 plus 2/3? 11/3. And then what's 11/3 plus 2/3? 13/3. So really, you should have had 3, because that would have simplified to a 3, then 11/3, then 13/3. Now to write the explicit formula, A sub n equals D, which we found out is 2/3, times n minus 1, plus A sub 1, which is 1/3. The first term of the sequence is 1/3. So now I distribute, and that becomes A sub n equals 2/3 n minus 2/3 plus 1/3. And now for my final step, I combine those like terms. What is negative 2/3 plus 1/3? Negative 1/3, right? You don't. Okay, are there any other questions off page 29?
Can I see the top one? The very top one?
I'm going. I was just letting people finish this one. Is A sub n equals D times n minus 1 plus A sub 1. That's the explicit formula. And to figure it out, you have to plug in the D, the common difference, the A sub 1, which is the first term, and then simplify it until it looks like this. The recursive formula is A sub n equals A sub n minus 1 plus D. The recursive formula is way easier than the explicit. Okay, so to write the recursive formula for this first problem, you will write A sub n equals A sub n minus 1 plus, what is your D? That's it, you're done.
Okay, now what is that?
You just write that thing?
Really?
No, not exactly.
That's just taking you all.
That's easy. All you do is plug in your
Yeah, but it's still a little bit different.
That sounds so weird.
Okay, so what is the common difference for number 2? -7, because to get from one term to the next, they're going down by 7. So when you write the recursive formula, it'll be a sub n minus 1 minus 7, because they're going down 7.
That's simple.
Minus 1. Anytime there is something written below, it's subscript. So you say sub. If it's something is written above, it's called superscript. But you don't say sup for those. Okay, number 3. What is the common difference? How are you getting from one number to the next? You're adding 4, so your D is a positive 4. So the recursive formula will be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 4. Okay, so you need to finish out the recursive formula for 4 through 12 and then turn to the next page. Because they're each going up by 4. 27 plus 4 is 31. 31 plus 4 is 35, and so on. So what did you get for your explicit formula? I know it has to be 4n, but what did you get right here? Plus 23 is correct. Are there any questions about the other ones?
No.
Not really.
Wait, what? 4?
Okay, number 4. You can see that the tops are going up by 4, correct? But the bottoms are staying the same. So if you're trying to figure out the common difference and you can't, just work backwards and subtract. Do 5 over 2 minus 1 over 2. Now, I typed them in without using the N over D button, so when I get my answer, it's going to be a decimal. Well, actually, it ends up a whole number. They're going up by 2. Look, 1/2 plus 2 is 2.5, which is the same thing as 5 over 2. So they're going up by 2. The common difference is 2. So over here, I know it'll be a sub n equals 2n, because your common difference always goes beside the n. And then, what would this be? -3 over 2. Yeah, -3 over 2 is what it should be. Okay, let's look at number 5. Okay, find the first 5 terms of the arithmetic sequence defined as follows. Okay, find the first 5 terms of the arithmetic sequence defined as follows. Now, the way they wrote this formula looks completely different than what we've seen so far. But if you just read it, it should be common sense to you. A sub n minus 1 equals a sub 1 plus 2.7. Well, what is a sub 1? Isn't that your first term? Isn't a sub 1 your first term? And what are they doing to the first term? Adding 2.7. So that lets you know your D is 2.7. Because they're adding 2.7 to the first term, so that must be the common difference. So to find the first 5 terms, you already know the first one, they told you. To find the next one, don't you just add 2.7? And that gives you 5.9. And then you would add 2.7 to that, and it would give you 8.6. And then you would add 2.7 to that, and it would give you 11 point something, because the 6 and 7 are going to make it go 11.3. And then you would add 2.7 to that, and you'd be at 14. Okay, and those are the first 5 terms. So that's how you do questions like that. Now let's look at number 7. You have read 25 pages of a book. You plan to read an additional 10 pages each night. Write the explicit formula to represent the number of pages you will have read after n nights. So what is this question asking you to do? Explicit formula. Well, to do that, don't you have to know the D and the a sub 1? The D would be 10, because she's going up by 10 pages per night, and the a sub 1 would be 25. So then you would just plug them in. A sub n equals 10 times n minus 1 plus 25. And then you would simplify it. And you would end up with a sub n equals 10n minus 10. But then minus 10 plus 25 is 10n plus 15. Your homework is to finish page 30. Okay, so I'll be stamping page 30 tomorrow, and then all the other late stamps that you need, and then I'll be done stamping after tomorrow.